Hey everybody, this is Jim Duffy. I get asked a lot of questions about buying foreclosed homes. It's all over the news. Foreclosures are up 71%, I believe, year to date over this month last year. There's lots of foreclosures and probably lots of good deals. However, when there's lots of good deals and everybody flooding into a market, there's also some setbacks, some things that just you need to watch out for. And I'm here today with my friend Randy Watson. Randy is with RE/MAX Leading Edge, and Randy is one of the leaders in Georgia for sales of foreclosed homes, of REO homes. He lists REO homes for several banks, and Randy's, I believe, the 15th leading agent in Georgia this year as far as sold homes. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
You're a busy man.
One thing about foreclosures is everyone thinks they're going to get a great deal, first of all. Okay,
Right.
So if you're interested in a nice foreclosed home, what you have to do, number one, is get yourself an excellent inspector. Unlike in other states where you have to buy foreclosed homes without an inspection, sometimes if you make an offer, you can't get out of it. You have to purchase it. In Georgia, they have a nice inspection period, where after you have a binding agreement, you go out with your inspector and you start digging to see really what is wrong with that home. Normally, the utilities have been turned off for up to a year or even over a year, so you have to look for things like mold, are the systems working, and what kind of bones the property really has. And only then can you decide if the discount that you get with the foreclosure is worth it in buying the house.
And do you see most people buying foreclosures for investment purposes or owner occupied?
Both. These days, we're probably running about 50-50, where investors are buying the lower priced houses,
Right.
and putting a little bit of money into them. And the strategy these days seems to be buy and hold, because there's such a perfect storm for a buy and hold strategy right now.
Sure.
Huge renter pool, low interest rates, relatively low interest rates, and a low priced supply of homes.
Right.
And also first-time home buyers and even home buyers who are buying their second or third home, buying up, are buying those properties as well, because the more supply we have, the better deal you can get.
Excellent, and that's a good point that's a superb point about checking out the structure of a home. That's one of the pitfalls. Any other pitfalls when looking at a foreclosure?
One pitfall is that people look at the pricing in terms of what it was last year or the year before. That is in the past, and that's gone for several years, in my opinion. The real estate market has peaked, and there's a new pricing model. And as far as just percentages, to give you an idea, over the last 24 months ago, in that year, the total number of houses sold, there were about 16% of those closed sales were foreclosures. Within the past 12 months, the sales have actually gone down by about 25% in total.
Okay.
But the percentage of foreclosure sales have doubled to about 32–33%.
Wow,
so you have a mob out there, both investors and residential home buyers looking for foreclosures.
Right.
So, but what you really have to do is be prepared to do your due diligence, look at the pricing in terms of what the market is like today, and that's where your realtor is going to come in and say that you have to price this according to today's values, not even 3 months ago.
That's a good point. And on the flip side of that, I have a lot of people saying, well, maybe I'll buy a foreclosure because I think I can get it 20, 30, 50 cents on the dollar. Is that realistic?
Well, it's a tough play to try to quantify exactly what you're saving, because that 20, 30, 50 cents on the dollar is always changing, because the values are always changing. What you want to do basically is you want to buy the property right. And another thing is, if you're looking at a lot of foreclosures, the secret these days is to place a lot of offers. Before, six or 12 months ago, sellers, banks would come off their asking price by maybe up to 10%. These days, because of a huge inventory of foreclosed homes, they're coming off their asking prices, the list prices, up to 30%. And
Wow.
that's after they've been reduced in price in terms of listing price.
Yeah, they've already been reduced because
Yes.
the market is pushing it down.
Make sure you have a team of people around you. A good
Right.
mortgage person like Jim who can walk you through the process. If you're owner occupant, if you want to go FHA, all the programs that Jim knows about and teaches me about all the time. You have to have a good realtor like myself, or one of my buyer's agents, or a lot of agents out there who specialize in foreclosure properties, so they can tell you the pitfalls and also the advantages of buying foreclosures.
I've had a number of investors come looking for financing saying, I've heard on the news you really can't get it, but I thought I'd ask anyway. You can. Investor financing is very, very attractive right now. It's gotten a little harder to get than in years past, but it should have. It's more realistic now. You really should put 20% down. You have to put 15 at least. On a smaller property, that's okay though, because it helps cash flow when you rent it, and you make your money when you buy a property. The pitfall that I see on financing is FHA financing. A lot of first-time home buyers want a foreclosure because they get an excellent deal on it. The pitfall there is it has to be seasoned on title. The current owner has to be on title. 180 days max is ideal, at least 90 days, or you can't get FHA financing. So you kind of have to watch how many times it's changed hands and how quickly.
So someone might make an offer on a house, they think they have it, but they won't be able to go FHA because of that.
Right,
And
exactly.
you can tell them that, yeah.
You really need to make sure they've been on title for at least 3-4 months, something like that.
My finger on the pulse of what's happening with the market, I let the market tell me what's happening. And I have so
That's
many
great
investors and so many buyers looking at these deals right now that it's telling me that we have to be near a bottom.
Yeah.
Even though there's huge inventory, the buyers are showing up. If you just watch TV, you might think that there's the credit freeze says I cannot buy a house or an investment property because I cannot get financing.
Right.
I talk to
A lot of
you
people think
and I
that.
realize, wait a second, there are programs out there you can buy right now. And that's why you need someone like you, because
And very attractive financing right now. Rates are just off their all-time lows.
Right.
And so it's terrific
it's a
time to
perfect
buy.
storm.
Randy, thanks a lot. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
And keep it up. You're number 15 in the state right now. It's amazing. Incredible work you've done, you and your team. And I just wish you the best.
Great, thanks, Jim.
Thank you.